Life is grand, and when we show another video today, it's all about all the bright places. A deep dive into Jennifer Niven's prose. So that's what we're going to go over today. We're going to examine how she uses her sentences, sentence lengths, etc., etc. Basically, what we've been doing in this series. This is the 6th video in this series, But what is All the Bright Places? So if you don't know, All the Bright Places by Jennifer Niven was published in 2015. It is a contemporary young adult novel. That's very important for us to know because you will see something with her writing that I wouldn't really ever see in certain adult books. But we'll go over that. All right. Not that you can't read this as an adult, but it is young adult. Anyway, but this book apparently touched readers all over the world. When you purchased it and opened the first, hands would come out and just grab you. It basically tells the story of two teenagers, and they meet under unusual circumstances and help each other in their struggles with personal grief and mental health. The novel itself has won numerous accolades, including the Goodreads Choice Award for Best Young Adult Fiction, and has been adapted into a Netflix film. It is praised for its raw emotional depth, vivid portrayal of mental health issues, and the sincerity of its characters' voices. Written primarily for young adult audiences, All the Bright Places captures both the light and dark side of life, connecting with readers who appreciate stories that don't shy away from real, difficult emotions. Let's do it. For the record, this is for educational purposes only. I'm a writer. I'm a writing teacher, an author, a developmental editor, and of course, obviously, spoiler alerts. Okay, let's see. Boop, 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 boop. Share the screen with me. Share the screen with me. Boop. All right, here goes. Things we're going to be looking for is stuff happening, but nothing is happening. What does that mean, real quick? That's just like it is not being presented through the emotional choices and experiences of a character. It is just, it ends up either being pure exposition or description for description's sake. So for stuff to actually happen, it must be through the character's emotional experience and their choices. Okay. And remember, every line must contain one or more of these three elements. One or more. They must have plot, character development, and world building. So if they're not moving the plot forward, developing the characters, or adding to the world, you gotta change the sentence up. However, it can have one, two, or three of those elements, and you'll see that some of these sentences do have one, two, or three of the elements. Okay. You also challenge positions and choices. That affects this. So stuff is happening when you are challenging positions and choices and allowing the characters to experience the world through their emotions and choices. We will talk about some movement, how sentences move into other sentences, and how passages move into. So a movement is basically a change. So when does a sentence end and when does a new sentence begin? It's through movements. When does a passage or a pro end and where does a new one begin? It's through movement changes, and we'll go over that. These are the things that we talk about. We talk about, POV, tense. We will talk about seeding and foreshadowing if it pops up. This does not have a soft or hard chapter break. Character exposition. That's pure exposition, bad. Character exposition, good. What is the difference? Well, character exposition is that we learn it through the character choices and dialogue, and it is not a dump of exposition. It's not just like, oh, let me tell you about my great uncle. All right, we'll see if there's emotional truth, and show sometimes tell. So when it's telling, when it's showing, etc., etc. Let's do it. First sentence. Boop. Is today a good day to die? Is today A good day to die. I feel like this might be too small. Let's boop. Does that feel? Does that feel better? Yeah, I think that feels better. I think that feels better. I think that yeah, that feels better. All right. I am gonna take away what if I do this? 10-5. Oh yeah, that's better. Okay. There we go. There we go. And then I could get rid of this one. We don't need this one. We don't need that one. We don't need it. All right, it goes. This is something. Oh, is today a good day to die? Oh, this is plot and character. There's no world building here. How so? Well, the character is thinking this. It's italicized. It's italicized. Right? They're contemplating. Is today a good day to die? They're contemplating a position. Okay. So the position is good. Whenever a position is created, they get to challenge it. Is today a good day to die? We're going to find out. Now, more importantly, okay, plot. He is in, it's to be or not. It's not on the level to be to not to be, but it's to be or not to be. All right. Okay. The plot's moving forward. Will they, won't they? Okay. Let's keep it going. All right. Okay. By the way, movement. Let's talk about movement. All right. The movement is this is a thought or a position being presented. Okay. Now the character is going to challenge. Now the character is going to explain why that thought exists. Okay. And they say, this is something I ask myself in the morning when I wake up. Nice. All right. So this is character and plot. Why? Because they're establishing a pattern, and it's character development because they're presenting a position. Okay. So this person clearly has depression. All right. Now, in third period, when I'm trying to keep my eyes open while Mr. Scrawner drones on and on. Okay. All right. This is world building mostly because they're explaining their day and that it is in our time and our world, right? Because they go to school. Well, it might not be in our world, but they go to school. Trying to keep my eyes open while drones on and on and on. Okay, in third period, there's a connection to some. It's world building. We are defining the world and its rules, but it is also character, and I'd say it's plot because we know that they are going to end up in that class. So they are explaining or foreshadowing things to come. We are also seeding. They are seeding. All right. So they're in school still, third period. It's probably middle school, maybe high school, more likely high school. And then this is their teacher. So they're seeding that they're in that, and they are seeding their behavior. This is all seeding too. They were seeding the fact that they have depression. All right. Now, the movement is they present this is today a good day to die. That's a position. Then they are going to basically define that position. This is something I ask myself in the morning when I wake up. All right. The movement to that is it follows them through the day because in third period, when I'm trying to keep my eyes open, well, Mr. drones on and on. Right. Okay, so they wake up, they go to school, they come home. That's the movement at the supper table as I'm passing the green beans. Okay, this is all qualifying this thought and what they do. They do it in the morning, they do it in school, they do it at dinner table, and then at night when I'm laying awake because my brain won't shut off due to all there is to think about. All right, that's behavior, that's character development, right? Is today the day? Is today the day? And if not today, when? Okay. All right. So let's see. At the supper table, as I'm passing the greens, this is a world building because it's like their way of life. It's plot and it is character. Okay, because actually, yeah, that's plot. At night, when I'm laying awake because my brain won't shut off due to all there is to think about. That is plot and character. Because it's moving their depression or their They're conflict forward. It's keeping the character grounded in their truth, right? Their emotional truth. Um, and a lot of this is makes sense because more importantly, it's all in first person, right? Uh, right. Okay, it's in first person. But what's nice is if you notice, um, they haven't started a sentence off with I. I yet. I mean, it's going to get that. It's going to be I in a minute. But so this is something I ask myself in third person when I'm trying to blah 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 at supper table at night, right? Um, so what you learn when you're writing from what you can learn from this when you're writing is you don't always have to start off with he said, she said, or she moved across the room, Sarah picked up the bag, right? You don't have to say you know she thought about how sometimes she thought about every morning when she asked herself. You could just make the statement, this is something I asked myself in the morning when I woke up, you know but what's nice is this goes. All right. Well, anyway, all right. We'll get to it. We'll get to it. Also, have you ever heard the rule? Hey, don't start sentences, with the same word. You want to mix it up. Well, sometimes you create rhythm with it. It happens. This book is published, so remember, it's chapter 1, Finch. I am awake again, day 6. All right. This is all internal thought, internal thought. But what's interesting is this is also ultimately internal thought because it is first person, it's narrated through the character, and every word, every sentence is a representation of that character's perspective, their positions, their ideas. All right. It's not being told third person or omniscient. This character can literally be like, this is something I ask myself in the morning when I wake up. And sometimes I don't even want to wake up. What am I even doing here? Who am I talking to? Why am I doing this? Okay, where was I? Oh, yeah, in period. Like, I can't even, I drone off. They could rimble and rabble in the narrative without it being dialogue or thought because it's just narrative. I wouldn't recommend what I just did, but all right. Now, let's keep it going a little bit. I am asking myself this now as I stand on a narrow ledge 6 stories above the ground. Woo! Someone get her down. All right, so this is definitely plot. It is definitely character. All right. Okay. I'm so high up, I'm practically part of the sky. This is plot and character. The reason is it's establishing how high she is, but as also the way she says it, I'm practically part of the sky. That is a character development. It's how she examines the world. Okay, I look down. All right, I'll get to that. I look down at the pavement below, and the world tilts. Okay, all right. So I look. This is considered a filter word, but it's right there. So that means don't worry so much on filter words. Just allow them to be purposeful. Okay. A filter word is bad, but it needs to be purposeful. The word was is bad, but it needs to be purposeful. Right. Um, look, I, okay. A lot of eyes. All right. Uh, oh, I is here as well. It's 3 eyes. 3 eyes. Where are they? You can repeat things. You could use the same word. It just make it purposeful. Make it have a rhythm. Make it like they are. I am. I'm asking myself this now as I would write it like that personally. That would be the adjustment. I'm asking myself this now as I stand on the narrow ledge 6 stories above the ground. I'm so high up, I'm practically part of the sky. I look down at the pavement below and the world tilts. Now, obviously, there are different ways to write this, and it comes down to voice, right? Okay. Do, 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 do. Okay, okay, okay. All right. Ledge. Held me 6. All right, that becomes passive. All right, let's see. Standing. I stand. Oh, this is all present tense. I stand 6 stories above the ground. The narrow ledge held me in those very thoughts, and held me in those very thoughts. Now, okay. Beep 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 beep. Okay. I stand 6 stories above the ground. The narrow ledge held me, and those very thoughts. And those very thoughts consume me now. High up. So high. I'm practically part of the sky. Looking down at the pavement below, and the world tilts. Looking down at the pavement below. Okay. So again, it's just voice, like author voice. You can play around with things, you could clean stuff up. That's the only reason, like, I gave it a little bit more fluidness, but like the author is probably trying to create the idea of stagness, like because they're depressed. I am asking myself this now as I stand on a narrow ledge 6 stories above the ground. Wow, I'm so high. I'm practically part of the sky, right? So it's like they're standing there. Then they notice how, like, wow, the sky is just surrounding me. And then they look down and they're like, oh, it's dizzy. So it's all about beats too. My representation just creates a fluid motion, almost like a camera movement, whereas this is just allowing each beat to breathe. The first beat is I'm asking myself these very questions right now as I'm 6 stories above the ground. Take that in, period. The movement is, what does it look like up here for the 6 stories? Well, I'm so high up, I'm practically part of the sky. Instead of saying the sky surrounded me, that moves to there. What are they doing? I look down at the pavement below and the world tilts, right? I just don't like using, I mean, sometimes, he, she, they, him, their, her, dapper, I like to just switch it up. All right, moving on. I close my eyes, enjoying the way everything spins. Maybe this time I'll do it. Let the air carry me away. Whoa! All right. It will be like floating in a pool, drifting off until there's nothing. All right. So this woman wants to call it a day. So I close my eyes, enjoying the way everything spins. All right. This is plot. Okay. It's plot and character. Maybe this time I'll do it. Let the air. Okay, so that's plot and character. The reason is because we are basically qualifying pattern. Maybe this time I'll do it. So that's plot and it's character. Just this is showing that the character is dealing with depression. We haven't once said I am depressed, or this character has depression, or I have depression. This is just allowing us to show depression through the way not only the thoughts are happening, but they're 6 stories up, and then their eye kind of catches the sky around them. And that's something that pulls their attention. Because remember, it's through the first person POV. So the character is making these choices. That's why it's stuff is actually happening, because emotional choices. They're also challenging their positions. Their original position was, is today a good day to die? So they're thinking about all this stuff. Is today the day? And if not, when? They're looking down. Then they're like, maybe this time I will do it. Right? It will be like floating in a pool, drifting off until there's nothing. Uh, okay. All right. So let's keep going. Let's keep going. All right. Okay. I don't remember climbing up here. I don't remember climbing up here. That's plot, character. In fact, I don't remember much of anything before Sunday, at least not anything so far this winter. Ooh, that's character and plot. We are also doing some world building. They have winter, Sundays. That's our kind of days. So it is becoming clearer and clearer that this is our real world. Okay. All right. Then, okay. This happens every time. The blanking out, the waking up. All right. This is where we get to talk about young adult in a second. This happens every time. The blanking out, the waking up. This is just plot. I don't know if I would call this character, but that's plot because it's establishing pattern. All right. I guess it would character too because it's also establishing that they have blackouts and stuff. I'm like the that old man with the beard, Rip Van Winkle. Oh, man. Yeah, remember when he was young? All right, now you see me. Now you don't. All right, that's character. You'd think I'd have gotten used to it, but this last time was the worst yet because I wasn't asleep for a couple of days or a week or two. I was asleep for the holidays, meaning Christmas. Oh, and New Year's. Okay, you see how long this sentence is? Yeah. All right. First things first. Let's look at the sentence lengths. You see how like they're broken up? We have short, medium, little long, medium, long, short, short. So it creates a rhythm, a jazz. Long, medium, 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 medium. Okay. Short, long, medium, medium, short-ish, really long. Okay. Sometimes that's how you control the rhythm of a moment. So that's probably why she also broke this up just so it could create that rhythm. Because if you look at mine, this is 2 sentences. Okay. 2 long sentences. High up, so high. So it's consuming me now. High up, so high up. Anyway, all right. So when it comes to young adult, as you can see, it does lean more towards show, sometimes tell. You have to tell sometimes for context, but in young adult, they usually talk directly with less subtext, or I should say not less subtext, but they're informing. Let me do this. They're informing the reader straight and direct. Okay, instead of playing around with things. I can't tell you what was different this time around. Only that when I woke up, I felt deader than usual. Okay, it's character and plot. Awake, yeah, but completely empty, like someone had been feasting on my blood. This is more plot. This is day 6 of being awake again, and my first week back at school since November 14. That is plot. And that is plot. And world building, because school, November, okay? We have established that they have our months and that they have schools. World building. Look how long that passage is. And young adults. So now you see this happens. This happens every time. The blanking out, the waking up. That's a direct statement. That's informing the reader that this is something that happens all the time. And by the way, sometimes you just want to get that out. Like, they could write a book where they just showing them blank out all the time and waking up randomly. But maybe, as one would, you want to start in the middle of the story. So maybe we're establishing that this is the pattern. Just get it out of the way, and now the narrative is going to challenge that, and maybe they're going to try to do something to stop the waking up and blanking out all the time. But we are seeding the fact that this is something that happens. You don't always have to show all this. I personally would see that visually. Like I would show that happening. Um, this is all character. Like I'm like an old man with a beard, Rip Van Winkle. That's world building character. They're just like, this is how I feel. I think it looks, Um, but this is also a big thought. This is all world building character. All right, you think I'd gotten used to it, but this time was the worst yet. That's just straight. This is good telling, though. This is good show sometimes tell because it is through the character. It is definitely helping with character and world building. Uh, there's a plot here. So it's not this. It's not stuff is happening, but nothing is happening. It's stuff is happening because the character is working through things. They're establishing their position. Okay. So their position is being established. There are multiple positions here happening and stuff like that. But because I wasn't asleep for a couple days or a week or two, I can't tell you what was different this time around. Only that when I woke up, I felt deader than usual. All right. So this is YA. This is what it looks like in YA. And in adult, it probably wouldn't have it like that. It probably would make it more of a I can't tell you. It'd probably be more like this. It'd probably be uh I can't tell you what was different this time around. Only that when I woke up I felt deader. This time around. Something felt different. Something felt different. Empty. Someone had been feasting on my blood. It'd probably be more like that. It's time. It's time. What is he doing? I don't know. All right. This time around, something felt different, empty. Like something had been. Oh, I should spell that right. Something had been feasting on my face. Yeah. Right. So, why do I say it'd be like that? Because this is like, I can't tell you. This is talking directly to the audience, whereas this is more like the character is in the moment. And we're watching the character's life unfold, but this character is literally just how should I say, telling you the reader directly what's going on, and that's sort of what makes it like a young adult. But more importantly, awake, yeah, but completely empty, like someone had been feasting on my blood, right? So I can't tell you what was different this time around, only that when I woke up I felt all right. So I felt different, empty, uh like someone had been feasting on my blood. I felt. I can't tell you. Okay, this time around, something felt different, empty. Like, oh yeah, let's get deader. Someone. Oh wait. Oh, here's. Sorry about that. My brain doesn't see sometimes. That's okay. This time around, yeah. I can't tell you what was different. Okay, this time around, something felt different. Uh, only, only that when I woke up, empty. Like someone had been feasting on my blood. I woke up. Oh, feasting on my blood. Awake. Feasting on my blood and awake. And awake my whole and awake body. Uh, mm, eh, There we go. I think that's actually a stronger line. This time around, something felt different, empty, like someone had been feasting on my blood. This time around, something felt different, empty. Well, you could have deader. There you go. Deader. Deader than usual. Like someone had been feasting on my blood. So, again, adult is usually just kind of like a movement through the beat, and young adult kind of will tell you stuff more directly and almost talk to the audience. This is day 6 of being awake again and my first week. So it's a lot of it is very, it's not bad though. Like it is what it is, right? It's its genre, it's its age group. If we continue on real quick, we're gonna just finish up this this one. Ooh, look, nice long sentence. Ooh, yeah, look at that nice long sentence. All right. Can't go wrong with a nice long sentence. I open my eyes and the ground is still there, hard and permanent. Well, there's subtext there, but that's good. So that's plot and character. It's what they're doing, but it's like, what are they looking at specifically? How are they specifically looking at it? Remember, their choices are how they look at things. It's what they look at. Because another character might be looking at something else, like the cars. If I fall, will I hit the car? Will I land on someone? I don't want to kill someone if I fall down. They might be thinking differently. This particular character chose these things. I am in the bell tower of the high school, standing on a ledge about 4 inches wide. This is a plot, and this is world building. See, there's no character there. Okay, I am in the bell tower of the high school. You could probably argue that it is character development because of like their choice to be at the school on the bell tower and wanting to do it. But the tower is pretty small with only a few feet of concrete floor space on all sides of the bell itself. And then this low stone railing, which I've climbed over to get to. Without this line, this would have been description for description's sake. It wouldn't have actually, it wouldn't help with world building, plot, or character. But this line right here, which I've climbed over to get here, that makes all of this plot and character. And then every now and then I knock on one of my legs against it to remind myself it's here. Ooh, every now and then I knock one of my legs against it. So this is plot and this is character. So there you go. There you go. We just sort of kind of broke it down a little bit. It is, I stand so tall. Anyway. So the reason this sells and it works, and again, look, this is that's okay, right? This one's right? See, it's okay. It's all right. It's all right. You don't have to worry about that, right? I am asking, there's a lot of eyes, all right? But the other thing is like writing itself, things could be like streamlined. Like this doesn't have to be this way. It could be this way. It's a choice. This way is a thinking pause. Like, and if not today, when? This is more like, and if not today, when? It's a change in thought. It's an interruption of a narrative movement. Like, and if not today, blah blah blah, right? But that M dash, this is an M dash. It becomes when. Like it just the new thought is like, oh well, if it isn't today, well, all right, well when? But like for example, what is it? I'm so high looking down, permanent tilt, close my eyes, maybe. Where's the I am asking myself this now as I stand on a narrow ledge 6 stories above the ground. Like there should be a comma there that would help with the pace and clarity, because because this is basically quantifying. It's like qualifying ledge. Where is the ledge? How ledge and where is the ledge? The narrow ledge. It's 6 stories above the ground. Okay. Um. Uh. What's this? I'm so high. I'm practically part of the sky. This is a choice. This is an author choice. So when you're writing, you're allowed to make author choices that wouldn't necessarily be considered clear, right? So or improve the sentence flow. I'm so high up, right? I'm so high up. I feel like I'm part of the sky. You could do that, but feel is a filler word. But that would be the clear. I probably wouldn't write it that way. Personally, I would change the flow of it, but you are allowed to make choices. A line editor will come in and say that. They go, you should, I feel like I'm part. They'll say that. And you go, all right, thank you. I appreciate that. Like, you don't have to take anything personal when they give you line edits or choices. They're just options. Because remember, if you hire a line editor and then you hire 2 other line editors, they're more than likely, if I don't even think they would not do this, they each would give you a different version of what would make uh, of a different choice or different choices in different areas. They might not even make comment on this. I'm so high up, I'm practically part of the sky, right? They might ignore that completely. So when you're hiring a line editor, your job is to find someone that is going to understand your voice as an author. They're looking for certain things. Like I write lyrically, not poetically, but lyrically. It just means like sometimes, you know, I'm practically part of the sky. Sometimes I write in like metaphors or something like that, right? But I make sure there's clarity, right? But if someone comes in a line editor and they go, listen, you should just say this. And I'd be like, yes, but if I say that, it's exactly the thing. And I want the reader to have some movement, malleability to the idea. I want them to defer or infer, you know, 6 stories above. So I stand on a narrow ledge. It's narrow ledge. The building rose into the heavens, right? That's lyrical. They're not really rising into the heavens. And if somebody believes that, they might be reading the wrong book. Anyway, so it will be, could be, it would be. What would be the difference? Well, it would be a subtle conditional tone. It's making more hypothetical in nature, but the action is a little clearer, right? Everybody has choices. You don't, just because someone says to write a certain way or here's the suggested line or whatever the case may be, you don't have to say yay to anything they say. Anyway, all right. Let's stop screen. Let's go here. All right. Let's go. Let's go. Now, keep in mind, things change. Boop. Things change. All right. Writing changes. This was 2015. Books nowadays, you'll see a lot more. Even though this book particularly was impactful and it has an honest depiction of the mental health and the struggles, and it's definitely for YA. Contemporary YA often features more diverse perspective. We talk about this often. Like a lot of the voices today are more LGBTQIA plus characters and protagonists from various cultural backgrounds. They're not allowing, but they're putting time and effort into elevating other voices, which is good, right? So, but the prose themselves have evolved as well, emphasizing voice and immediacy with a lean towards more conventional and conversational and dynamic language that speak directly to the reader. So it's less metaphorical, less lyrical, and it's just like, this is what it is. Because they just wanted to this is what it is. But that's for young YA, okay? Now, my final thoughts are basically that All the Bright Places is just a reminder that, when you approach your writing, allow it to move through your vision, what it is you're trying to say as a writer, an author. What is the truth of your story? At the end of the day, you do have to write more than one draft. Your first draft is not your last draft. And when you have line editors, developmental editors, copy editors, whatever, come in and do the work, there are choices. You ultimately have the say in the final presentation. The way you use your chapters, your chapter headers, your um, whatever, your soft chapters, your hard chapter breaks, whatever it is, the way you use, what fonts you use, what font size you use, all these things are a part of it. All right. It is your job not to emulate what has come before, but to take what has come to allow your present writing style to develop and hone into your voice for the future. All right. It's our job as writers to shape the strongest version of our own ideas. And we do that by learning from the past, embracing the present, and elevating our voices to stand apart from others. Okay. Writing is about expressing your individuality, your experiences, your thoughts, and your creativity. Write what you know just means come from your truth, right? It doesn't mean, oh, I can only write about people with big, thick eyebrows because I have thick. No, it's inside. Every narrative starts inside. This is not who I am. This isn't even what I am. It's barely a representation of my truth because you have eyes, you have bias, and you have perspective. So you just see what you see. You don't know enough information to dictate what this is, right? And that's the problem with focusing on this and not this. When you focus on the inside, your characters become living entities on the page. All right. So write about that truth, your experiences, your emotional truths, and have fun. Take risks. Remember, writing is fake, so you can literally do whatever you want. I mean, Madagascar has talking animals. Next video in the series is The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. No relation. Question. What do you think makes YA and... Well, actually, no. You know what? I got a better question. What did you learn today? Let me know in the comments. What did you learn today in this video about looking at prose and breaking down prose? I'd love to know. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe and hit the bell icon and give me some thumbs up. It's very helpful to the channel. I assure you, as always, keep developing the right mindset. I'll talk to you